Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to the technical session 8B. Myself, Anisha, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Sustainable Development ICT4SD 2024, Goa, India. The ninth edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was organized yesterday in Goa, India, and the virtual event was held yesterday and is being held today, that is on 8th and 9th of August 2024 through Zoom. I hope you all will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations and each presenter will be given 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answers. And on 7 minutes, I'll be raising a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you all please stay connected with us till the closing of the session. And if you have any update or query, you can write it to me in the chat box. So just before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Archana S. Baner. She is assistant professor in the Department of Computer Engineering at MIT's Institute of Engineering. She has 19 plus years of experience and has organized various workshops and seminars. She has also published 8 papers of international repute. So I welcome you to the session, ma'am.
Thank
Would
you,
you
ma'am.
like to give an opening remarks to all the participants?
We will start session. At the end, I will talk, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so moving on to the first presenter of the session, we have
Mm.
Anjana Ajit with the paper title Analyzing User Perception on Voice AI in Banking and Financial Services. Ma'am Anjana, are you there?
Hello.
Yes. Ma'am, you can share your screen and proceed with the presentation.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anjana Ajit. I'm from Kerala. I did my MBA from Amrita School of Business. And I have wrote the paper titled Analyzing User Perception on Voice Assistants in Banking and Financial Services, along with my co-author, Kevin C. Burgess. This is the agenda of the presentation. And coming to the motivation behind the study, we all know that AI is now on top of the head for everyone. Everywhere we have a discussion, we hear about AI, the capabilities of AI, and also the negatives or concerns that are associated with it. So we wanted to understand when collaborating with another sensitive topic, which is banking and financial services, how people or users will perceive voice AI for their day-to-day banking tasks. And also identifying the factors that is actually influencing them to adopt to such a technology. And even though we have seen a lot of incorporation of technology into banking and financial services, we wanted to know what are the factors that is actually influencing their adoption. And also we wanted to know about and identify their concerns if they have. Even when we are exposed to a new thing, we'll definitely have some concerns about it. And we wanted to know what are the concerns or what are the users' perception of the risk that is associated with voice AI, and also to help identify the areas where these issues related to trust are to be addressed. Coming to the literature review, first is Francisco Lebana Capanilas, 2020. So in their study titled Assessment of Mobile Technology Use in the Emerging Market, analyzing intention to use mobile payment services in India, they found that innovativeness, stress, and perceived ease of use influences their perceived usefulness. So perceived usefulness, satisfaction, risk, and trust actually influence their intention to use mobile payments. And in this study conducted by Yunel Park Sion Bake in 2024, in their study titled Determinants of Player Acceptance of Mobile Social Networking Games, an application of the extended TAM model, found that perceived enjoyment and usefulness actually determine the intention to use. And in the study conducted by F. Munoz Leva, S. Kleiman B., Sebasti and Molinillo in 2020. In that study, titled Determinants of Intention to Use the Mobile Banking Apps, an extension of the classic TAM model, found that perceived usefulness, satisfaction, risk, and trust actually influence the intention to use these mobile payments. Coming to the hypothesis, hypothesis one is about users who perceive voice assistants as more useful for managing their finance will be more likely to use them. And hypothesis two refers to users who perceive voice assistants as easier to use for banking tasks, for their day-to-day tasks, will be more likely to use them. And also in hypothesis three, users with higher concerns about security and privacy risk about their financial transactions or financial information associated with voice AI will be less likely to use them. And hypothesis four states that users with higher trust in voice assistants for banking tasks, people who trust technology, will be more likely to use them. And the fifth hypothesis states that users who are generally open to trying new technologies, who are ready to try out new things, they will be more likely to consider using voice assistants for banking. Coming to the methodology, where the primary data is used, and primary data was collected in the form of online survey. We prepared a questionnaire using the TAM model for preparation, and this was carried out as an online survey only. And we did a correlation analysis from the responses that we got. We got a response of 207. And our dependent variable is ITU, that is intention to use. Our independent variable is PU, that is perceived usefulness, PEU, that is perceived ease of use, PT, that is perceived trust, PR, that is perceived risk, and AT, that is attitude. When it comes to data and sample, a convenient sampling method was used for data collection, and the target population was people who are extensively using mobile banking services, because to know more about mobile banking, how it works, the target population was people who already knows how to use mobile banking services. Coming to the findings, after the analysis was conducted, we found out that there was a very strong positive correlation between perceived usefulness and intention to use. That is, people who thought or who believed that voice AI has got some kind of utility, where their intention to use was also high. So the correlation percentage was shown to 65%, which is pretty much high. And there was also a high positive correlation between perceived ease of use and intention to use. That is, if voice AI can make their day-to-day banking activities easier, or if the technology is easier to understand, it is easy to use, the intention to use was also high with a percentage of 58. And there was a negative correlation between perceived risk and intention to use. People are not really thinking about the risk that is associated with, they're not really concerned about the risk that is associated with using voice AI. Rather, they have certain security concerns about their financial informations, the financial data, the banking transactions, the transaction histories, everything. So the next is a strong positive correlation between perceived trust and intention to use. So it was 73%. That is pretty much high, because people who trusted that voice AI can be useful, it can, even though it has some kind of security concerns associated with it, can improve, it can be trusted. People had a high intention to use. And the next one is a positive correlation between attitude and intention to use. So it was 49%. That is, people who are generally open to new technologies and was ready to try out new technologies, where really would actually use the voice AI, because they want to know about new technologies, and they use new technologies as well. And coming to the conclusion, so the study actually showed that users find voice AI to be reasonably straightforward to use as and is of some utility, because the percentage, if you can see in the findings, we can see the perceived usefulness, it was 65%. So most of the people think that voice AI is of some kind of utility, and it can be used if it is easy to understand, if it is easy to use, then people will be motivated to use this. Also, voice AI was moderately positively trusted, despite people having concerns about security. People had concerns about their financial history only, their financial information, which is sensitive. And other than that, people are less concerned about the risk, but are more concerned about the security of their data, usage of their data, how the data will be used. So after that, the results obtained actually validates the TAM model by indicating that the adoption is influenced by users' perception of utility, that is perceived usefulness, the simplicity of using the technology, and the security threats, the security about their information, and also trust. So that's all from my part. This I have also attached the questionnaire. This was the questionnaire which was derived using the TAM model only. And yeah, thank you.
Hello, Anjana.
Hi, hello.
Hello. How do users perceive the convenience and efficiency of voice AI compared to the traditional banking methods?
uh, this voice AI is will be more convenient, because we don't have to like go to a physical branch and do the transactions. Or there are also some banking apps also is not really easy to navigate. If we see, if some bank apps are we some people google it and find out that okay, this is there and we can navigate through this channel or something. But there are also people who don't want to do that much of effort.
Okay. But nowadays, mostly people are using net banking. Okay. But like that, the cyber fraud are also increasing rapidly. So how you will secure your system in that case?
Yes, cyber security. In the responses also, what we found was that the risk is actually not considered. Actually, what is considered is the security of using. If we are secure using this kind of a technology, that if it blends with banking and financial services, the data is really case sensitive. So it has to be robust. Otherwise, it will be people will not trust that.
Okay, but you are using input as a voice. So you should be very careful about the clarity of that, and depending on that, the security of your application will be available. Is it so?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So how has the integration of voice AI impacted the overall quality of customer service?
To be here, when voice assistance, there is a limitation, because it has not like derived, and it has not like updated. I would say that, because sometimes the responsiveness is quite lower than what we get from a real human being when we talk to them in person.
Okay, fine. And then one more suggestion from me. You can refer the latest paper so that you will get the more new ideas related with this topic. Because
Yeah,
in your literature survey, I saw you refer the paper from 2020 also.
yeah,
So
yeah.
4 years is a very large, means vast period. So you can approach for the latest papers which are
Okay,
available in this field. Okay,
okay,
that
sure.
is okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next presentation of the session, we have Victor L. with the paper title At the Heartbeat of the Smart City. Sai, are you present in this session? Well, I guess he's not there. So moving on to the next one. We have Abhishek R with the paper title Automatic Pronunciation Analysis Using Artificial Intelligence. Sir Abhishek, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, so you can share your screen and proceed with the presentation.
Yeah, I thank all of you for giving this wonderful opportunity to present about our project. And I am Abhishek Kar, and I am from M. Kumaraswamy College of Engineering, and I have completed a bachelor's in computer science and engineering. And these are my teammates, Ajay Ishwar, Hemant MS, and Rajesh Ram V. And our title of the project is Automatic Pronunciation Analysis Using Artificial Intelligence. First of all, its objectives is we are developing an AI for accurate pronunciation assessment in language learners for identifying the errors and providing feedback. And it will be a beautiful companion for personalized. It will giving a personalized feedback, and it will improve strength and weaknesses, and it will be accommodating diverse styles of speeches, and will be implementing it in continuous mechanisms, and it will be providing feedback with an additional data. And if we see about the introduction in an increasingly interconnected world, the effective communication has been playing a major role, and it has also become a critical skill. So we want to get language proficiency at our topmost priority, and accurate pronunciation. These both are the integral parts of this skill, and this enables individuals to engage with diverse cultures and develop in relationships. And it is also used for language learners and educators. And as you can see, this is the papers you have referred, and in the first paper they have used contextualize emotion representation, and only the demerit is they are classifying the tone of speech alone, and it works on the algorithm by task adaptive pre-training. And another paper we have taken is from 2022, and it is digital learning insights from behavior cognition and the brain. And here they have used digital language learning, so this provides a theoretical synthesis and an analytical framework. Here, the demerits is the theoretical and practical problems can be occurred, and these are the problems we have identified. That is, we want to train the data set manually to inhibit with the correct speech and pronunciation. So it will be requiring large number of speech data sets to create the labels for individual persons, and its accuracy also will be less at the time of speech recognition. And this is our proposed system architecture, where we'll be getting speech data directly from our user, and the features will be extracted, and with the help of Mel's frequency substral coefficients, we'll be classifying it as a spectrum, and we'll be implementing the CNN algorithm, and it will be converted into as a text, and with that we'll be checking the spelling, and the result will be obtained, and it will be shown as a report. That is the final feedback which will be produced. And this is our methodology of proposed work. Here you can see that the first step is data collection and pre-processing. Here we'll be gathering the data from the user immediately, and the processed data will be classified according to the phonetic transcriptions, which serve as the reference for correct pronunciation. And it will also pre-process the data by converting it into suitable formats such as WAV files, and it will be segmenting it into words phrases. And in feature extraction, we will be extracting the acoustic features from the audio data, like in this only we'll be including the Mel frequency substral coefficients, and it will be classifying according to pitch and energy also. And in CNN architecture, we will be designing a CNN architecture for pronunciation assessment. Considering it using the CNN ID, it will be well suited for sequential audio data. And then we'll be training the model to be used for further things. And here the innovativeness we have given is the process begins with collecting spoken language, either a sentence or word. That is, in previous projects, all they will be gathering set of data sets from various users, and they will be training the data set with the model, and they will be using. But we are directly collecting the speech as an input from the user, and it will be including like both correctly and incorrectly pronounced words. So this audio is then pre-processed, which is involved in converting it into text format, and it will be segmented, and it will be classified as pitch, energy, and various features. And the pre-processed data is also then labeled using the provided phonetic transcription as a reference. So to support the model of assessment, the label data set is cross-checked with the correct spelling provided by the library we have given. That library is we have included the Google library, Google dataset library. So according to that, we have given a certain standard whether the spelling will be correct or not. And according to a novelty of research purpose, this supports speech to text conversion, speeches for all backgrounds. Like we can get the data from either children or old age people or the middle age, and it also utilizes all the advanced deep learning features for recognition and transition, and it incorporates robust feature extraction like MFCC, that is smell spectrograms, to capture nuances in pronunciation. And these are our software requirements. This is a basic standard requirement for a PC, and we want one microphone. And in software requirements, we want server side for Python, and client side you want HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. So as you can see, we have been building it as an web application. So it is required, and these are the modules of our project. First one is framework construction. In this, the methodology is authentication. So we'll be using giving two login IDs for admin and the user who is using it. So it is more simple, and we can compute more efficiently. But one thing is, it is a physical server, so one at a time, if many people are accessing it, it can't able to perform well. And this is our admin and user module. Yeah, and then here we'll be using the tools to access and analyze spoken language. And in this process often employs speech recognition technology, which transcribes the words into text, and will be accessed to pronunciation by considering the pitch, tone, frequency, and all. And we are creating a framework for admin and user in this. And the second module is we'll be reading the speech data, that is speech recognition. The speech recognition is more effective. Like if you are speaking in a low tone or low voice, also you'll be capturing all the information very clearly. But if there is a slight background noise, and if there is disruptions in microphone or something, it is considered as a small lag between it. And here, this is the one we are taking means to be. And here summary is text conversion. So as I told, we are using MFCCs to convert it into text. And this is the coding part where you have added that MFCC, and you are given the HTML things. And in module 3, the text conversion, that is the modeling maps are extracted, the phenoms are, the subword units also will be extracted, and the techniques is used are we have used deep neural network, and this is the commonly used one. And the language modeling helps systems to understand the context of spoken words. This involves predicting the word sequences using models like n-grams or neural language models. And here, summary of module 3, we will be having the pronunciation checking, that is cosine similarity. Here it will be giving the accuracy of the pronunciation and it will score according to the accuracy. And this is the fourth module. Here it will be giving us the result final for ours. So here, after making the score, it will be giving the result. And if you are getting lesser than 85 as a score, it will be providing it will be saying the same pronunciation, and with an feedback, it will be given as a personalized feedback to the user, which will be very useful for them to work on with it. Yeah, this is the result. It will be giving us a detailed term like where the user went wrong, and it will be showing the current pronunciation and all the things. See, here they have given us a score is 85%. So if you want in between, we want to see the same pronunciation, we can click on the action button like pronunciation. So it will be playing again. At last, I'll be concluding that it is automated pronunciation checker with convolutional neural network, which holds significant promise in addressing the critical need for accurate pronunciation. It leverages the power of CNN in this system and offers a comprehensive solution for accessing and improving pronunciation quality. So by meticulously collecting and pre-processing diverse spoken data, we can include a phonetic transcription that the system lays a robust foundation for pronunciation assessment. Thank you.
Yes, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you are using this tool as a learning tool, isn't it?
Yeah, ma'am. Learning tool.
Okay, so you are not applying this as a real-time application. So user is getting the feedback after some particular time period, no?
Yeah, after the score has been analyzed, the report will be given to the user on the same time.
Okay, the same facility is also available on the Google also. So what is the difference between your application and that facility, which is already available on Google?
Yeah, here it will be giving personalized feedback, and the user can use it. Uh, we'll be telling that practice makes man perfect. So with the help we can be using, but in Google it will be only given that the correct
Yeah.
pronunciation alone it will be giving, but it will not get, and it will not tell the score about how they are telling with these
Okay,
things.
okay, that is new one in your project. Okay.
Yes.
What benchmarks and metrics are most appropriate for accessing the performance of pronunciation analysis system? What metrics you will use?
Yeah, here we have first it has been converted into text, the pronounced word with the MFCCs, and with the cosine similarity also will be classifying the data, and afterwards will be the particular standard we have fixed is as you can see that in India, if we are taking, there will be different pronunciation languages, that is different colloquial languages across the area. So we have kept it as a standard in which it is giving in the Google library that if you are saying ROCHELLE, that will be given as Rachel, but they will be pronouncing it as very different things. So for a standardized purpose, we have linked Google API. So with that, it will be cross-checking with the help of CNN algorithm. So and then the score will be given out.
Okay, in which state, what is the status of your project now? Whether it is completed or in progress?
Completed.
Completed. So what is the accuracy you got? Accuracy of your application?
You are asking that
Yes,
machine learning accuracy or
yes,
speech
yes.
accuracy? You are asking.
Machine learning, because you already use the machine learning models to train your data, no?
Yeah, that is
Yes.
85% accurate.
Fine. Okay, Abhishek. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. And moving on to the next presentation, we have Nidhi VR with the paper title Consumer Perception on the Effectiveness of Chatbot.
Yes, ma'am.
You may please begin with the presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, all. My name is Nitin VR, and I'm from Amrita School of Business, Kochi. So, moving on our paper, consumer perception on effectiveness of chatbots. We all know that today the most of the organizations were digitalizing their businesses, and also there were a lot of new startups were emerging in our new market. So there is a need to deal with the customer. So we all know that the customer is the one of the most important factor in for the success and also for the growth of an organization. So dealing and maintaining a good relationship with the customer is very important factor for the growth of the organization. So nowadays, the most of the organization were using a tool for maintaining and also maintaining a good relationship with the customer is the usage of chatbots. So, literally speaking, chatbot is a converse engine that is used for interacting with the users, clients, and also it helps to answer the queries of the clients. And also it even helps to help in the transactions also. And through the usage of chatbots, the organization is trying to improve the customer user service and also the customer service experience. And it gives a unique human computer interaction, and the success of the chatbot depend on the consumer perceptions and also its attitude. So there is a need to deconstruct the knowledge about the consumer perception and the attitude towards the chatbot. And when we looking into the success of the chatbot with the interaction with the customer, the most important factors that depend on the success of the chatbot is one is the visibility. So when looking on to the factor of the visibility, the main important thing is the user interface. When the user interface is more easy for the customer, it will be more easier for the customer to convey the message to the and to interact with the chatbot. And the second is the trust. So when we are chatting, when you are interacting with with the chatbot, we can see that a lot of data is shared with the chatbot. So there may be a lot of cyber issues and also privacy issues. So when the customer have an trust in the data privacy, then it will help to gain the trust with the company also. So it will help to maintain a good relationship with the client or the customer. And the third is the satisfaction level. So the complete satisfaction of the customer depend on the how problem solving is the chatbot is. So if the chatbot is able to solve the problem of the customer, they will have a trust in the organization and maintain a good relationship. And moving on to the objective of our study. So the main objective of our study is to evaluate the customer satisfaction with the chatbot, which is used for the grievance redressal in response to the accuracy, the problem solving efficiency, and the overall user experience. And also, we are trying to assess the quality of the communication in the chatbot interaction and also the degree of personalization. And moving on to the motivation of our study, our main motive is to enhance the problem solving efficiency of the chatbot to the clients of the customer and the personalization in the chatbot interaction. So this will help to increase the satisfaction on the clients. And also the another motive of our study is to analyze the potential for the chatbots to significantly which impact the company's image and also the consumer loyalty through an efficient service delivery. And moving on to our methodology, the type of research we have done is a qualitative research, and the primary data we have done is through interviews. So what we have done is that we have taken an in-depth interviews from 10 respondents, and mainly we had chosen the respondents from different localities of Kerala, and we had done an in-depth review, and we had chosen an 8 questions, and they were the response were recorded from the respondents, and these response were converted and transcribed into a text document, and then we have analyzed it. So from our analysis we have found out that the mainly the users are telling that the response accuracy and also the efficiency are the one of the main crucial factors for giving a good experience and also an high level satisfaction on the customer. And the second is that in certain situations, the chatbots were not able to be efficient because they were not able to identify the problem of the customer in certain situation, because they were not able to come out from that program language. They were not able to come out from the programmed frames. So the next is that there is a need. The some users have told that they have responded that there is a need in improvement in the chatbot design and also the efficient problem solving. There is a need in the efficient problem solving database. And the next is that some users have responded that chatbots, the conversational quality of the chatbot is one of the important factor for the entire user experience with the customer. And also maybe in certain situations also we can see that the chatbots were only able to give generalized solutions for the customer. The one of the main important problems that the clients facing is that maybe they were interacting with the chatbot with their problems, but they were not the chatbots cannot identify what is the problem is. So the chatbot is trying to give a generalized solution for that problem. So and also we can see that the lack of personalization in the conversation offer a general answer, and also it does not address the particular. And these are the main findings we have found out. And coming to the conclusion that we had found out is that the effectiveness of chatbot in the customer service is heavily depend upon the ability to provide accurate response to the clients and also the problem solving efficiency. And there is a need in the personalization in chatbot interaction, and because it influences the customer's trust and also the satisfaction, highlighting the need of chatbot to adapt the individual user preferences. And also there is a need of learning and also improvement should be need in the chatbot in the chatbot, because if we are able to develop the chatbot, the programming of the chatbot, we were able to give a from giving a generalized solution, we can understand the problem, each customer's problem in depth, so we can give a proper solution for every customer. And coming to the last point is that a balanced approach between the automated responses and personalized interaction is essential for the customers expectations, and also it will foster the loyalty in the customers. So that's all from our side. Thank you.
Okay. Nidhin, you talk about the responses. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So what
Yeah.
is the perceived quality of responses provided by chatbots in terms of relevance and helpfulness to the user?
When we are coming to the from the response we have taken, we have understood that the main problem that the users were facing is that they were only getting some situations, they were only getting a generalized solution. So that is the one of the main problem they are facing. So if there is a proper investment, and also if we there is a if when we develop a large database, we can able to adopt a more we can give solutions for more in-depth problems.
Okay. So what factor influence consumer adoption and regular use of chatbots for customer services?
What, ma?
What factors influence consumer adoption and regular use of chatbots for customer
Uh,
service?
Mainly when we are looking into the interaction with the customers with the chatbot, mainly they were firstly when we are using a chatbot, we can see that the visibility is one of the main factor. When a person using a chatbot, it should be more user friendly. Then only they will be able to express more about their problems or their concerns. And the second is one of the main factor is the data. When we are mainly, we can see that there were lot of cyber frauds and cyber issues were coming emerging up in the day-to-day news. So we can see that when we are interacting with the chatbot, the customer should have that trust in the chatbot. Then only they were able to express themselves. So they will have that trust in the from the company side also.
Okay. So what you observed that what types of issues or inquiries customer believe that chatbots will handle most effectively?
Mm. Um, mm,
Depending on
ma-
your observation, what you observed?
from my observation, I have found out that from giving a generalized solution for the customer, there should be some more improvement should be made in the development of the chatbot. Then only we can keep a good relationship with the customer.
Okay. Okay, fine, Nidhin. All the best.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. And moving on to the next one, we have Simran Sankhyayan with the paper title Generative Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity Risks, Issues and Challenges. You may begin with the presentation.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, now it is visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simran Sankhyan. I'm a research scholar from Punjab University, and title of my paper is Generative Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity Risks, Issues and Challenges. It is also co-authored by Dr. Amita Verma and Dr. Karan Javanda. The main objective behind writing this research paper was to highlight the ethical concerns and all the legal issues and technical challenges that may come across in present or in future whenever there is going to be an interaction with the generative AI as well as cyber security. As we all know that generative AI, which is a subset of artificial intelligence, is a very powerful tool which can automatically generate content, and the content can be in form of images, text, audio, videos. It is also used in all the sectors, whether that is a health sector, financial sector, banking sector. At the same time, one hand we have the beneficial ends, but at the another hand also we have the destructive ends. But that is the reason why it is very important for us to highlight all these kinds of an issues which could be dangerous for the society ahead. So the hypothesis of the research work is that we do not possess adequate legal framework to adequately deal with all the kind of uh, cybersecurity threats that is possessed by generative AI. As far as generative AI is concerned, we have first of all data poisoning, and then data poisoning is a kind of a process in which the AI developer train the data which is unbiased and manipulative, and that is the reason why we get a kind of an incorrect and discriminatory output because of that. The next one being the injection attacks.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yes, ma'am.
your slides aren't changing.
Oh,
You're still on the first slide.
okay. Ma'am, I have already changed the slide.
No, we cannot see it.
Start with the presentation mode, Simran.
Okay. Is the second slide visible, ma'am?
Yes, now it is.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The second cybersecurity threat being the injection attack. For as far as injection attack is concerned, that means all the adversaries and even the AI developer, they can inject malicious codes, and they can craft your input in such a way that you are going to get the unexpected behaviors. The third cybersecurity threat is of breach of data privacy. In this, whenever you are giving any kind of a prompt, for example in chat gpt or gemini or copilot, they record and retain all your sensitive information. So these sensitive information, since it is recorded and retained, it can also be sold to the third party, or it can be exploited in order to facilitate the another crimes. The fourth one is also a kind of a burning topic, that is of fake content, or we refer to it as deepfake or deepfake voice or deepfake content. Basically, it is used by all the adversaries and perpetrators or cyber attackers to forge, document, image, or videos. So in a way, they are going for disinformation, spreading false narrative, also manipulating the public opinion. The fifth one being, since the traditional cyber offenses were there like phishing and social engineering, now the adversaries are actually deploying generative AI models to sophisticate all these traditional cyber attacks. Not only it is facilitating the traditional cyber attacks, but it is also creating a new offenses. It is giving birth to the new jurisprudence, that is, for example, generative AI worm. It is created by AI generative model, and it can even penetrate into the cloud computing and can rupture all your computer networks. Now, through this research, we got to know that as far as the legal framework is concerned, since it is very new subject to the legal world, we are lacking adequate laws for data protection. Yes, the parliament has passed Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, but still it does not include all the AI generative explicit provisions with which it can deal with. But since we have this act, but it is not in enforce yet, but before, if generative AI model fall into its ambit, of course it is going to be liable for all the leakages of the personal data. Even if it is processing any kind of a personal data, it really need to take the consent of the user. Then it is about intellectual property right. As far as generative models or the content created by generative models are concerned, whether they are going to be protected by the traditional Copyright Act 1957 or not, it is also a question which is unanswered, because the Copyright Act is only protecting the rights of the content which has been created by the humans and not by the machines. So this really need to be answered either by the judiciary or the legislature. So these are the gray areas. Since all the traditional offenses are getting facilitated by the generative AIs, or there is also a birth of new cyber attacks, so the traditional Information Technology Act 2000 is not adequate enough to deal with the upcoming new cyber wrongs and offenses which is facilitated by the generative AI. So through this study, and after analyzing all the laws, all the judicial precedents, we got to know that yes, we do not have enough legal framework right now to deal with all the offenses which is facilitated by generative AI models. But since we are lacking laws, we can technologically can assure to mitigate such kind of a risks by having a robust anomaly detection system. All the organizations, what they can do is they can employ journal AI aware security solutions so that they can detect all the deepfake content or all the malicious codes that has been incorporated by the adversaries with the use of generative AI model. And we can also, as a user, can have a strict access control and data validations, which also includes points such as not to give a personal details to all the chatbots or all the generative AI models. So we really need to make a balance between innovation and ethical consideration, and had to take a holistic approach whenever we are dealing with uh, all the offenses on all the legal issues and technical challenges faced by the generative AI models. In the end, I just want to say that since it is very new to the legal world, and all the legal issues that they have not yet emerged, but there are only few cases of such kind of an issues. But we really need to have to be prepared for overcoming such kind of an issues, and which requires a collaboration of all the AI developers, cyber security experts, legislature, judiciary to come together and to give recommendations so that a ministry of electronic and information technology can also issue more of the advisories in order to safeguard us from all kind of cyber issues that is facilitated by the generative AI model. Thank you.
Okay, Simran, can you tell me how can AI and machine learning be employed to detect the counterpart threats posed by generative AI?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Okay, how can AI and machine learning can be employed to detect the counterpart threats posed by generative AI?
Okay, ma'am. As far as generative AI and this machine learning is concerned, they can create its own detecting system. That is basically the AI developer to see how they can detect all the kind of cyber attacks which or the loopholes that is there within the AI system, so that they can assure that yes, it is not getting misused.
Okay, for the implementation purpose, which platform you are using, which domain you are using?
Ma'am, implementation purpose means?
Means you are implementing this as your research project. Is it so?
Yes,
So, so you have to put down the results at the end of your research work. So
ma'am.
which
There is
technology you are using?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the result is right now that there are many legal issues that has been coming up, like deepfakes, AI worms.
Yes.
So this is creating a havoc. Even though these are not, they are not much reported cases, but it is happening. Even though it is not getting reported, we really need, as far as our laws are concerned, those are outdated and they cannot deal with these upcoming cyber offenses and wrong. So we really need a kind of solutions legally also and technologically also, so that we can safeguard ourselves from all these kinds of issues.
So are you using any machine learning algorithms for that?
uh, Ma'am, till now there is no such safeguard available in India as per.
Okay. Suppose we are considering the social engineering, social media, how
Yes,
it can be intersect with the generative AI to create cyber threats?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for example, all these attackers initially they used to use certain kind of a techniques through which we can get to know that yes, this is a spam or this is something like that. But with the advent of generative AI, they are becoming more sophisticated offenders, because it is very difficult to detect any kind of a wrongdoing, because they are using these advanced models. So it becomes very difficult to actually detect and moreover prevent such kind of an offenses.
Okay, fine, Simran. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. And now moving on to the next one. We have Ritesh Warnekar with the paper ID HD map generation with LiDAR using open source framework.
Okay.
So Ritesh, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you may proceed with the presentation. Yeah.
Is the screen available, visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ritesh Panikar. Today I'm going to present my paper research on HD map generation with LiDAR using open source framework. So coming to the agenda. Uh, Simultaneous localization and mapping, that is SLAM, or the ability to correctly build a map with simultaneous establishing a vehicle's position within them, is a crucial part for autonomous driving, that is ADAS. This study focuses on the method for creating a HD map with the LiDAR using an open source framework, specifically LiDAR-based SLAM, which has emerged as a powerful tool due to its ability to operate in a variety of lighting conditions and providing a high resolution 3D point cloud data of the surrounding. The traditional point cloud registration algorithms such as iterative closest point has proven to be effective, but the computational cost can be prohibitive for real-time onboard processors, such as using in modern cars and vehicles. The LEGO loam, that is lightweight ground optimization loam, is a one of the kind LiDAR odometry and mapping technique designed specifically for real-time 6 degree of freedom post-estimation on autonomous vehicle. Uh, this has some beneficial points such as use of two algorithms. Legolum employs two algorithms that run at a different frequency. The first technique provides fast but impressive velocity estimation at a higher frequency, whereas the second delivers the uh, accurate motion estimation at a very low frequency. These algorithms output are efficiently linked to generate both high frequency and a high accuracy output, which is crucial for real-time responsiveness in autonomous driving. The next point is real-time performance by utilizing point cloud segmentation after ground separation. The LEGO improves the reliability of the feature correspondence and enables real-time operation in on-source embedded system, making it suitable for integration into vehicles within limited computing power. Next, coming to the next point, real-time mapping. The real-time mapping uses Ligolom framework, focuses on high-resolution 3D point cloud generation, that is utilizing the Veridon VLP16 LiDAR sensor. It is a powerful sensor which can generate around 3 million point cloud data, that is 3 million points at every second, which has a resolution of 10,000 RPM speed, which produces 360-degree data and generating high resolution 3D point cloud data using a Veridon sensor and the algorithm. The lightweight design, which is crucial for development on low power embedded system. This design choice ensures that the system can operate efficiently without requiring expensive computational resource, which is mainly using uh, expensive graphic cards onto the vehicles. Next, coming to the uh, Digolo algorithm. So this is the overview of the Digolo algorithm, which has basically 5 main parts, that is segmentation, feature extraction, LiDAR odometry, LiDAR mapping, and the final is transform integration modules, which combines all the 4 parts into creating a 3D environment for the vehicle. Coming to the each parts. So this is the segmentation model. The segmentation is the process of dividing a point cloud into distinct regions or segments that represent different objects or surface in the environment. This is crucial initial step in creating high definition maps using LiDAR data. It has following processes, that is process cloud representation, that is the raw data collected by the LiDAR sensor is represented as a point cloud, which consists of numerous points in a 3D space, each with specific coordinate attributes. The point cloud is often projected into a range image format, which simplifies the segmentation process by allowing the system to analyze the data in a structured manner. Next, the segmentation algorithm identifies region on the interest based on the certain criteria, that is spatial distribution of the points, their intensity, which helps in distinguishing between ground surfaces, obstacles, and moving objects. Next coming main point is feature extraction. Feature extraction involves identifying and isolating significant characters of the features from the segmented point clouds that are essential for understanding the environment. The methodology which is implemented is roughness calculation. The extraction process often involves calculating the roughness of the point within a defined neighborhood. This is done by analyzing the spatial relationship between point to determine their geometric position, that is dividing into edge and planar features. The system focuses on extracting main 2 points, that is edge feature and the planar feature. These are the points that represent whether the given point cloud data is a edge feature, that is sharp surfaces such as walls and obstacles, and the another is planar feature. These are the points that lie on the flat surfaces such as ground or the large obstacles. Next coming part, LiDAR odometry. LiDAR odometry refers to the process of estimating the motion of the LiDAR sensor between consecutive scans. It is essential for determining the trajectory of the sensor as it moves through the environment, which has the following processes, that is point-to-point matching. The odometry module uses algorithm to match features from current scan with those from the previous scan. Uh, this involves calculating the relative transformation, that is both in the XYZ coordinates and also in the yaw, pitch, and uh, yaw, pitch, and roll positions. Then the optimization techniques such as Levenberg Markov optimizations are often employed to refine the motion estimation, minimizing the error between matched features. And the third important point is drift correction. The system incorporates loop closure techniques to correct any drift in the motion estimates over time, ensuring the trajectory remains accurate. That means it uses the trajectory data to make sure that we are not moving from the actual path and maintaining the map on the same time. Next coming is LiDAR mapping. So LiDAR mapping is the process of creating a comprehensive and a detailed representation of the environment by integrating the features extracted from the LiDAR scan into global process. This includes feature registration, that is features extracted from each scan are registered to a global cloud map. This involves aligning the new features uh, with those already present in the map based on the estimated pose of the sensor, that is position of the sensor uh, with regard to the environment and the collected data of the previous scan. Then incremental mapping, as the sensor moves and collects the new data, the mapping process is incremental, continuously updating the global map with new features and information. Then global map construction. That is the mapping model combines data from multiple scans to build a detailed representation of the environment, allowing for continuous localization and mapping. Next, coming to the final part, that is transform integration module. Uh, this is the crucial component in the Ligolome framework, particularly in context of SLAM algorithm. This process involves combining post-estimation obtained from the different modules, that is all four modules, to produce a coherent and accurate representation of the sensor position and orientation in the environment. Uh, the key components of transform integration is post estimation, that is the system generates post estimates from two main sources, that is LiDAR odometry model and the LiDAR mapping model. Both the models are combined to create a relative motion and global mapping data, that is creating map as well as following a path generated by the trajectory. The transform integration module takes post estimate from both the odometry and mapping models and combine them to produce a final post estimate data. That is, as you can see on the left side, there is a trajectory followed by the environment generated by the mapping model. Next, coming to the performance evaluation. The performance evaluation of the Ligolum frameworks was conducted using two distinct data sets, that is large-scale unmanned data vehicle data set that is been collected by Steve's and which is freely available on the GitLab repository. This data was been used to train the train and estimate whether the complete algorithm is working fine or not, and also using a custom data that is been collected by me through the sensor, that is VLP16 sensor of our college campus. The large scale data set, the system uh, validated on the large scale data and also tested on the custom data set. It has generated accurate data when compared to the actual trajectory and the trajectory generated by the system. It has produced 70% accurate compared to the actual data, and which is twice the accurate than the normal SLAM algorithm used by the systems. And it also works on any systems which does not have a dedicated graphic card to produce the data. It can also produce data on a normal, that is i5 or Ryzen 5 chipsets. Coming for the future scope. So for the future scope, we are trying to integrate a camera as well as GPS sensor to produce a high and accurate data so that this data can be used for ADAS system to guide the vehicle in a proper path without the need of actual controlling the vehicle. And real-time pose estimating, that is optimizing the real-time processing, that is minimizing the time the map is being created than presently created, then and adaptive to the dynamic environment, that is improving the ability to dynamic environment and handling the changes in the condition, that is mainly a sudden drop in the grounds as well as in a heavy traffic environment where there are anomalous moving cars, and to eliminate all the cars and just produce a 3D map of the data, that is of the city. And conclusion. So the Livolome HD framework has demonstrated a superior performance in the real-time pose estimation and mapping, showcasing the remarkable robustness and accuracy across various testing scenarios. Uh, the sensor integration incorporates the addition sensors such as camera and initial measurement units can enhance the system durability and accuracy. So the complete algorithm was used on the various custom data sets, and we have found that it produces accurate data when compared to the actual softwares used to design the mapping, and as which is used in the heavy systems which require a heavy graphics card. So thank you. Any questions, ma'am?
Okay, Ritesh, can you tell me what are the best practices for collecting high quality LiDAR data?
So the best practice of like collecting the LiDAR data is using LiDAR sensor. So in this like in the coming generations, the LiDAR sensors will be less more expensive than as it is right now. For example, using a BLP16 LiDAR sensor which cost around 5 lakhs. This sensor is been used to collect the data which produces the data at like 360 data, which produces 3 million data points at every seconds for a RPM of 10,000 RPM. Ma'am.
Okay. How can the accuracy and precision of HD maps generated using open source framework? Can we validate?
Yeah, ma'am. This can be validated using like uh, the data provided by the source, that is from the like as we have used of the Stevens, he has been given the trajectory data. We have to compare that trajectory data with our trajectory data and see the changes, how drift it is been producing. So we got around 80% of accurate data. There was a slight drift in the data because of we are not using an GPS along with the device, and another accuracy is been uh, overlapping of the same pixels when we use the like sensor on the same location for 3-4 times.
Okay. Can you list out the algorithm names which you use for this?
Algorithm names, ma'am.
Which algorithm specifically, which algorithm you are using?
This is an ROS algorithm, ma'am, robot operating system algorithm. It has like a filters which we apply on layer by layer. That is, these are the four layers. That is segmentation, LiDAR mapping, LiDAR traj. Just so
Okay.
let's
You are working on that. Okay.
yeah, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay. All the best, Ritesh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the presentation. And moving on to the next one, we have Deepshika with the paper title IoT for Digital Product Passport System in India.
Thank you so much. I'll share my screen.
Sure.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deepshika, and I'll be presenting the paper IoT for Digital Product Passport System in India. It is a review paper. And the purpose of Digital Product Passport is to offer a standardized track and trace data on a product's origin, composition, possibilities for repair and disassembly and management at the end of its useful life. In addition to supporting a low carbon transition by advancing a circular economy, DPP seeks to remove current barriers, including communication gaps. And this is a very important step in the Sustainable Development Goals that has been envisaged by all the countries altogether. And the European nations are working a lot on digital product passport system in India, and digital product passport system in the European Union, which has not been practiced in India, and which is why which is what stresses the need to come up with this entire system. So in this paper, we will discuss an IoT-based system in context of India, since EU nations are pursuing it with great concern. Possible challenges and expert reviews have been discussed. So there are these 17 Sustainable Development Goals, as we are all aware of, and there is a European Green Deal and Circular Economy Action Plan of the European Union. These are two initiatives that support data availability and the establishment of extensive information flow with respect to product policy. The creation of digital passport is an idea that is becoming increasingly prominent on the political agenda, and it is covered in the two European Union strategies that has already been mentioned, which is the Council conclusions on making the recovery circular green, and that were enlisted during the German European Union Council presidency. So what is DPP? What is Digital Product Passport? It is an information set that lists parts, materials, and chemicals, and details on replacement parts, availability, repairability, and safe disposal practices of a product. And there are specific information categories which have to be made available for the manufacturers, and there are specific information categories which are made to be available for the consumers. And the purpose of this data is to optimize design, manufacture, usage, and disposal. And the data comes from every stage of the life cycle of a product. We know that a product has a lengthy life cycle. So the data is generated at every stage. The goal-oriented collaboration of the entire supply chain and value chain participants in the direction of circular economy should be made possible by standardization and comparability of the formatting of environmentally significant data. For example, the name of the manufacturer, efficiency class, gross annual electricity consumed by an appliance, the volume of a refrigerator and freezer units, and the aggregate minimum to maximum noise levels for the model in context must be all listed. But this is in case of refrigerators only. So there are certain products that are there are many home appliances that are already following some sort of data availability to their users and their manufacturers. But however, as I've mentioned, this is not happening in India, so we want to propose this for here. And the regulations require providers to use a specific input page to insert data from product information sheet and peripheral sources, which is called as the technical documentation, which is registered on the official European Union online database and the European Union product registration database for energy labeling, which is EPRL. And so certain amount of data sets are already available through EPRL and all that, but a full-fledged IoT system is yet to come into picture, even in the Europe and in India. And institutions like ETH Zurich, EMPA, they are really trying very hard to make this a standard procedure and an important and compulsory procedure. And as I've mentioned before, this is divided into two parts: a non-public portion that is only available to the European Commission and marketing regulatory agencies, and a public portion which is accessible to the end users and the other parties. And household appliances such as those used for cooking, heating, water, or space, ACs, dryers, boilers, electricity bulbs, etc., are among product groups which are already there for data labeling for EPRL. And additionally, a QR code is put on the data information tag of some initial product categories, and customers can utilize the product database to access pertinent accessible data on information labels and product information sheets as of March 2021. And then after this, the COVID hit, so certain research was slowed down, but still they have caught up on the research that they were doing. And via QR code, this information can be made available. There's another REACH regulation, which is specifically there for chemicals, just like we have EPRL for electronic products. There is REACH for chemical products, how chemical products life cycle moves into the system. And there is a global trade item number, which is GTIN, a number to identify a variety of trade units, is the foundation of a system which may exist for simple identification of various products for retail purposes. So there is building information modeling, which is there for architects. So how we have EPRL for electronics, we have REACH for chemicals, we have building information modeling in case of civil engineering, and building materials and architecture. So in context of India, we have to focus on all these terms that are there on the screen right now. And an IoT-enabled network is mandatorily required to make DPP a success and make SDGs achievable in near future in context of India, because 2050 was the deadline for achieving the goals, and we are quite far from there. And the goal is to promote and quicken the sustainability and circularity dynamics. And the EU's promoted twin transition, digital and ecological, can be made easier by utilizing new information and communication technologies, which is NICTs. And these are the various levels. So with Industry 4.0, certain amount of digitization has entered the system, but a complete functional set available for data is not yet there. And this will be required. Let's say this is the manufacturing levels of detail of any product, of any household appliance, electronic product, let's say. So these are the various levels of, operation, and where all different kinds of information. So it starts with no digital product passport, and then so much amount of information is there. Or again, for various phase levels of product operation, there are these various levels, and then so much amount of information is required. Like this is the product category, the information category, and the respective information available. And similarly for circularity phase levels of product, when it has to be disassembled, when it has to be recycled, when the let's say first phase, use phase of the product is over, and then it has to be recycled or disassembled or disposed. So how does that have to happen? So that is there in the circularity phase levels of products. So I also did a focus group study with 10 experts, which belong to both academia and industry. and they had like 20 years of experience. And I asked them a various set of questions, and I asked them, this was a focus group, so I asked them 6 questions, and I asked them if it is going to be achievable in near future. So they said that although it is really important, it is very difficult and cumbersome and challenging due to a large number of units in organized and unorganized sectors. So India is full of organized and unorganized sectors as well, unlike Europe, where there are mostly organized sectors. And traditional crafts also have to be merged. And sooner or later, it is going to happen, because since European Union has taken up SDGs seriously, Indian government has to also be active and pursue SDGs and DPP together. And with Industry 4.0 in place, it may become easier for the organized sector, but it will be very challenging for the unorganized sector and the craft sector. Manual activities for tracking, tracing, sorting, etc. have to be undertaken, making the eco chain complicated and more time taking than expected. And does it aid in solving ecological concerns? They said, if not completely, then to a great extent. And gradually it will become a part of our lives, if not in near future, then in definitely in the forthcoming future, in the forthcoming time, because data is going to become very important, and handling of data, be it for a product or for a living being, it's going to become very important how what is where, track and trace, and disassembly and reuse and recycle and everything. So it's going to become very important. So gradually it is going to become a part of our lives. So there is a necessity of harmonizing rules and market surveillance and traceability, particularly with regards to products entering the market, which is a very important factor. And to follow the information stipulated in the Eco Design for Sustainable Product Regulation delegated acts such as durability, reusability, recyclability, and recycled contents, DPP is required by law to offer information on a final product. This is happening in the Europe. So this has to become a part of the system via a law, that an act that has to be passed, and that will be very important at the public policy level. And the purpose is to make environmental statements increasingly trustworthy, to compare and verify within the European Union. And this may decrease greenwashing, because that happens a lot, and then enhance trustworthiness in ecological important data sets. So this has been actively sought by the European Union. So this has to be done in India as well. And the implementation presents a certain challenge, even with its obvious advantages. Security and privacy of data is a big problem. Robust cybersecurity safeguards are necessary to avoid unauthorized access or exploitation of valuable consumer and product information. Strict access control procedures, encryption, and frequent security audits can all be used to combat this. Another significant obstacle is integrating the DPP system with current procedures. It necessitates intensive cooperation among all parties involved. DPP may be opposed by people who see it as an unnecessary burden or source of complexity. It is crucial to openly convey the advantages of the DPP system by including the increased productivity, lower costs, longer product life, and its support of sustainability. All value chain nodes must use the DPP idea in order for it to work more properly for businesses to take full advantage of its sophisticated capabilities. There are fewer advantages applying DPP globally, if not widely adopted. And it is not a quick fix problem from a business standpoint. Rather, it is intended to produce results in middle to long run. So these are some of my observations and issues and challenges that which may come up with the DPP execution when we try to do it in India. These are some of the, so I read around 50 papers, and I've included around 20 research articles here, and thank you so much.
Okay, Deepshika.
Yes, ma'am.
What role can digital product passport play in promoting circular economy initiatives in India?
Ma'am, it will provide track and trace. Let's say there is a cell phone, or there is a refrigerator or AC. So in European Union, they already come up with a track and trace information. There are QR codes available. You can scan and you can send it to a certain recycling unit. But in India, when we have to dispose it off, we just send it to a local guy who an old shop or a place, right? But now people will become responsible owners of whatever product they have. And when they have to dispose it or recycle it or disassemble it, so information will be available there. Ki what has to be done for this product, what has to be done for that product part. So let's say one product has 50 parts. Where does each part have to go? So several recycling units with this data set information has to come up. And this will also lead to new avenues of employment generation, because the traditional way in which the kabadiwalas work and they take away our old and used, be it electronic or non-electronic products, and the way conventionally it works, that is going to change, and a track and trace data set will be available where which product part has to go, and then it will, become a loop, like the raw material from the end of life of one product will the product part from end of life of one product will become the raw material for the second life of that particular product part. So that is how it will become a part of the circular economy.
Okay. How effectively we can maintain the data privacy when we are sharing the data through IoT devices?
Yes, ma'am. This is a very important, concern which is there for any, like, even if we are using the social media portals, like be it WhatsApp or anything that way. So security and privacy issues are definitely there. So cyber security laws, as one of the presentations were also mentioning, that the IT Act that was there from 2000 that really has to be amended, and certain decisions have to be made on public policy level, like right from implementation of DPP and the cybersecurity laws that have to be strengthened is very important. So security issues are a huge challenge. Like even today, even if DPP exists or not, since we are using the internet, so the security and privacy issues are like all the time looming above our shoulders all the time. So the laws have to be strengthened, definitely.
Yes, yes. That is the most crucial part, data
Yes,
privacy.
yes. At policy level, the laws have to be strengthened in a very strict way.
Okay, fine.
Thank
All
you
the
so
best,
much.
Deepshika.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the presentation. Now, moving on to the next presentation, we have Rajesh Chandwadkar with the paper title Metaverse Learning Landscapes, Unveiling Training and Development Patterns Through Bibliometric and Content Analysis. Sir Rajesh, you may begin with your presentation.
Sure. Thanks, Anisha. It's visible now?
Yes, now it is.
Sure. Let me put the presentation mode. So I'm part of Symbiosis International University based out of India, Pune, and in starting off my research journey in the metaverse training and development field, and I just wanted to explore what's happening around the world in this space through a bibliometric and content analysis for this subject. As all we know that when Facebook owner Mark has announced to change Facebook to Meta, a lot of interaction, a lot of research throughout the industry and the research community started exploring different things around the metaverse. And as we know that some VR technology, augmented reality, mixed reality technologies advancement help to build developer kind of a world which create more immersive experiences for the user, like we all sitting at a different location. The thought was if we can all come together in a one place and get more real experience of an event like we are doing today through virtual. So through the hologram, can I be present there at Goa and be part of this event? So that was the initial idea when people come up with the metaverse, and a lot of investments are happening. The key Facebook, the Googles, and all the top big companies, alongside the venture capitalists also investing in this area. So one of the field which we all see that has a lot of traction is a gaming world, where a lot of metaverse related like the Roblox or the front runner or the other Decentraland, a lot of investment, a lot of marketers also coming there, a lot of art people are going there, opening up their shops, opening up, taking the land there, and kind of exploring a lot of opportunities for them. And this paper not only look into what researchers are doing across the world, but at the same time try and explore uh, what industry is heading to, where it is being used heavily, and what are the emerging trend that is being coming up so far. So for this analysis, what I've done is base of this is a databases. We all know that we have to take a metadata from the different databases. do the Prisma analysis to filter out more relevant articles or the studies for this. And we all need a tool who can help us to fasten our studies. So I use the tool R with the BiblioShiny, which is kind of a more user-friendly interface where you upload your data to the tool and it helps you generate the different analysis first. And like I said, I use 20 case study from industry plus 293 article, which is more relevant for my subject for this study. If I quickly through what the bibliometrics will tell us is what are the key contributor in this field, who are the researcher, and where they got published, and how the others are recognizing their work through the citation. And what are the trend which is coming up, emerging trend. So we see that human computer interface, autonomous driving experiences, the mental health, and like I said, the gaming industry are the emerging trend which we observe so far. We found 9 clusters of the authors across the world who is collaborating with each other and doing the research over the years. So one of the themes which we can understand through this 4 quadrant analysis, where you have the basic themes, where you have the motor themes, where you have the niche themes and the emerging theme. And we all can see that the deep learning, the neural networks, the advancement of those technology helping this metaverse in a long way to give more immersive experience for the user. And at the same time, the autonomous driving, the human computer integration are the another emerging theme that we have observed. And we all know the avatars are the key, the NFTs are the key when you talk of the metaverse. So each one of us can have our avatars and they can collaborate, communicate, transact in the metaverse. So those are the themes which the authors are investing, the industries are investing. I took a look at what are the platforms available at this point of time and how they're applicable across the different fields and what are the benefits. So manufacturing industry where the hazardous tasks can be trained during using the metaverse. Then healthcare is another where you need a kind of a simulation for your patient. Then doctors can do experiment through the metaverse, more of a real than experimenting on the human bodies. So that's the advantage which is driven using this vMedix AR tool. At the same time, the defense, the aerospace industries are also using metaverse, where a digital twin kind of virtual environment of a real world will be created, and we can experiment using that virtual world. Uh, and the task force or the workforce can be trained more cost effective way using that tool. Enterprise metaverse platform are again people are developing a platform where not only a single but can it be open to others. So one is having one metaverse, how they interact with each other, and so some research is going on in that direction as well. And quickly to summarize, we have seen that some of the authors have a lot of publication in these fields. Then Metaworks framework is in development. People are developing a framework that can be utilized by different authors or different researchers. Some of the industry specific examples, Airbus also using VR to training the maintenance of the aircraft, where the cost is a huge component, and people wanted to explore the way the training can happen in the virtual world. I think Nikes and others are also investing in the same way. And to summarize, metaverse is not only IT, but it's kind of emerging as a multidisciplinary field of research. With that, I take a pause if any question that I will have today. Thanks.
Sir, this is your research topic.
Yes, this is a part of my research topic, ma'am. So
Okay.
it's emerging with the neurodiverse workforce for a training. What metaverse is part of it. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the best practices, sir, you can suggest for the effective implementation of this training program?
So effective way is for which industry, ma'am? You asking for specific industry or?
No, generalized.
So the virtual devices, the VRs and AR based training is the most effective trainings which is coming up, and collaboration with the avatar is what the theme is. So I can collaborate, I can have a mentor available who can guide me, and those mentors are logging through their avatar in a real world, right? So if I'm doing a surgery, or I'm taking a training on a surgery, my mentor can join that and he can guide me. I'm not doing the real time, but I'm doing through the metaverse. So those collaboration through avatars will be helpful. And in terms of the neurodivers, where these people have certain symptoms and they're not able to fully come up in the real world, these tools will definitely help them to get to that level and improve their skills.
Okay. Sir, what are the key performance indicators for assessing the success of this? How
So
we can evaluate that?
yeah, so one thing is how effective it is in terms of the traditional training methodologies, right? So is it adding a X factor on top of, if we have the test and control environment, then we can check that is it improving my efficiency. Second aspect is the cost, which is a key here, right? So if I wanted to do it physically, a huge amount of cost is involved. The third angle to this is a collaboration, right? People across the world, like I said, if a metaverse is there, so the expert across the world can collaborate with each other, using the platform. So those were the indicators which will define the return of investment, at the same time how efficient the training through the metaverse using the test and control approach. Yeah, I hope I answer to
Yes,
some
sir.
extent. Yeah,
Yes. Thank you, sir, and all the best
sure.
for your research work. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot for an opportunity here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, so Rajesh. Now,
See you. Thanks.
moving on to the next presenter. Yeah, we have Vijay Khare with the paper title Smart Traffic Analyzer Using Deep Learning. So, Vijay, you may please start with your presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today I am going to present the smart traffic analyzer using the deep learning. I'm Dr. Vijay Khare, and today I am going to discuss the introduction, motivation, and view diagram, and also discuss the yellow file, the zero file, which I have used in my work, methodology, and result and conclusion. So as you know, traffic congestion problem is increasing day by day. As you know that the population of a country is increasing, and so traffic congestion problem is a normal problem. So we need a system, or you can say that we need an intelligent system that will be solve this kind of a problem. So more population means more vehicle are on the street day by day. Traffic, traditional traffic management system are not built with the considerable of increase in traffic at this height. So in this work, I have used the deep learning, which is used to detect the vehicle and automatically adjust accordingly, help in many ways for better transportation. An algorithm can be created to detect the pattern of the traffic flow accordingly. The solution must be intelligent and have decision-making capability. Means according to the situation, system must have the capability to take the decision which light should be on and which light should be off, and how much time it should be on and off. The process span is fed to the model for the object detection. In general, nowadays, for the object detection, as you know, the YOLO 4, YOLO 3, YOLO 5, and even here the now YOLO 7 is in the picture. But in this work, we have used the YOLO 5, and which is having the darknet program used to detect the object and also classify the object. So motivation basically, and in India, you can see that the day by day population is increasing in each and every city. So we need a system, smart system that can be control the traffic. So in this work, what I have done, I have just taken the videos and the video will be in the form of the frame, and I have just captured the frame. And after that, I have this captured frame is feed into the model, deep neural network model. That is where basically I can use unify and give the object and counting the visual. After that, we have dumped this into the Raspberry Pi, and it will give you the uh, con- if the traffic is heavy, the timer will be the 60 seconds, and if the traffic is medium, timer will be on for 30 seconds. If traffic is light, then timer will be on for 50 seconds. So by using the rectified logic, we have control the timing of the light. So as you know, yellow twice, as yellow means you only look once, is an object detection algorithm that is divided the image into the grid system, and each cell is grid in the responsible for detecting the object. YOLO, YOLO is one of the most common object detection. I have taken this picture. Looking at how this YOLO works, YOLO algorithm works by dividing the image into the entities, each having the equal dimension of reason. Each of these and and coordinate relating to their coordinate. Along with the object data coordination as well. Euro achieved by the first looking at the coordinate source and created with the decision. And after programming, we have Raspberry Pi 4, which is a small single board computer. By connecting the peripheral like keyboard, mouse, display, Raspberry Pi, it will let it will you can say that it is a mini computer. And having the all when it starts with computer and software. So the Raspberry Pi is really capable in the everything we expect from the desktop. And it also has the camera which works all the modes. Raspberry one, yeah, basically, you all have the camera model, so which you can take the videos of that. And here it works in the real. So these are the software which I have used in my work. The methodology basically what I have done, and what I have proposed, the consists of total two elements. That is the process of the object detection offers the input. In this phase, the data described the correct traffic will be appear. In the last phase, earlier data will be used to compute the correct timing for the incident. The object detection, the frame received will be passed to the object detection model of the user twice in the multi-thread environment to concurrently get the detection of all properly visible vehicle in the each lane. Euro version 5 is the latest version in the yellow. When I have started the work on this, that time was the traffic signal timer algorithm when the number of vehicles is less on the board, then the timer is on for the future. If the number of vehicles is more, then the green timer is turned on for the long. So according to the traffic, it is smartly on and off the light traffic light. So specifically, you can see that on the basis of the density of the vehicle, it is automatically adjust the time of the traffic control. For easier understand, let's there are the 5 or 6 vehicles on the road, then the green light will be turned on for the next. So for the example, we have to set this kind of the timer in the list. So you can see the result. If the number of vehicle is reached, it will be green light will be on 16 seconds. Green light will be on for. So you can see that as the number of vehicle is decreases, the timer will be automatically decreasing. Similarly, you can see the another experiment in which we have considered the median traffic. If the traffic is low, then you can see it is given the very low time for the green light. So according to that, it is automatically adjusting the which light should be on for what time. So we have just make a one prototype, created a prototype in our lab, and we have test this model prototype for the different weekend, and it is working very accurately. Around 90% we have got for this. So conclusion, a developing country like India is also working on the smart management system because training are increasing the developing country. It leads to an increase in the traffic. So we need a system, real-time system, so that we can control the traffic, right? Traffic congestion. So detection of congestion and reduction of traffic is very important. In traffic control, you need to get the information from the sensor and peripheral and have to identify the condition of the traffic. The traffic light timer in the real time. The smart traffic management system has the traffic light to operate in a real time. So there's a possibility then we can generate the smart system to that to control the timing of the light in the real time. Safety of the road accident. This is also one more important advantage of this smart system. Due to the deployment of the system, the chances of the road accident will be reduction in the pollution. Due to the good management of the traffic flow, pollution can be reduced and people can save the fuel. Due to the fuel saving, it will lead to the reduction in the pollution. These are the references which I have used. Thank you. If you have any query, you can ask me.
Okay, sir, what privacy concern arise from the use of deep learning in traffic analysis and how you will address them?
Basically, a deep learning model we have used for the vehicle detection. If there's a vehicle on the road, we can detect the vehicle and even you can count the vehicle. According to that, you can use the timer, control the timer of the light.
Okay. Suppose we are implementing this in the public places.
Yeah.
So what ethical consideration we should consider?
Yeah, basically, if you are going for the real time, then we have a system which will be very accurately here. And if there is a large number of vehicles is there here, and there is the different type of the vehicle is there, so according to that, it should work.
Yeah.
So it will be the challenging when different kind of the vehicle are there to detect each and every vehicle and have to classify that. And according to that, you have to on the light, which vehicle will take, how much time will take.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All the best.
Thank you for the presentation, sir. Moving on to the last presentation of this session, we have DS Vankitesh with the paper title, Unique Land Parcel Identification Number, UL PIN, Bhu Aadhaar in Land Records. Sir, you may start with your presentation.
Yeah, sorry for the technical glitch. Yeah, is the presentation now visible?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Anisha, ma'am, for providing this opportunity on presenting the paper on unique land parcel identification number, or known as the BUDAR for the land records. As we go about, I'll just tell you how this was conceptualized and how it was conceptualized and tested and piloted in the year 2021. It just emerged during discussions with the Department of Land Resources, Government of India, Minister of Rural Development, and the National Informatics Center. I've been associated with the land records project. So it so happened that is it possible to generate a unique land parcel identification number, which is like a Bhu Aadhaar, like Aadhaar for the person? Is it possible to generate a unique number for a land parcel? So that was the problem statement which emerged during the discussions. And the task was given to NIC. And we tried to experiment with the different models and either by taking the centroid or by taking the midpoint, something like that. And once we brainstormed on that, the challenge was also that the land parcels were not georeferenced. So we how to take the reference point, or they were having the local coordinate system. And also, as you know, in the land records, the land parcels geometry is also not uniform. It can be rectangular, it can be circular, it can be uneven land parcel, a land parcel within land parcel. So whatever the methodology we devised had to pass through all these tests. So we then worked out a strategy in which this ULPIN is nothing but a 14-digit alphanumeric number for each land parcel, which is based on the geo coordinates. So when you say georeferencing a cadastral map, we are giving the geo coordinates to the vertices of the land parcel on the boundary. So what we did is, once we get a georeferenced cadastral map, then taking the boundaries, we found out that it is possible using the lat-lon to generate a 14-digit number. So what happened is, when we took that devised that in-house algorithm, the algorithm is such that it takes the horizontal bisector, the longest ray from east to west, which is midpoint from the north to south. So that and when it bisects the land parcel, we take the largest segment's midpoint, so that it's not exactly being a centroid, but then it should fall within the surface of the land parcel, and then we assign the lat and longitude. So when we have the latitude and longitude, we have seen after the 6 decimal places, when you have angle, minute, and second. So we have 6 digits after the decimal point. So when you multiply it and remove the decimal points, then you get a number for the lat, and we will get a similar number for the longitude. So then we took the first 7 plus 7, the 14 digits number, and we tried to then test it with the various types of the land parcels, such as whether it's a rectangular or circular or all sort of land parcels. There's a data set from the respective states. Since we know that land is a state subject, we took sample data with permission from the revenue department and tested this algorithm. So once this was tested, okay, then we submitted it back to the Department of Land Resources that this is feasible. So then the Department of Land Resources set up a subcommittee under a core technically advisory group, and which was set up in the year 2019. Although this was in discussion mode in 16-17, then they referred it to the Department of Science and Technology to vet the methodology. So once it was referred to the Department of Science and Technology, then they said that the numbers okay, but it should adhere to some international standards, so that later date any exchange of this number across standards. And also what we are doing at present was we are concentrating on the agricultural land, so which is a horizontal spread of the on the surface. But then the standard, it should be such that it should also take care of the buildings or properties, or suppose sometimes when we have in the urban cities, we have the apartments in one floor, we can have 4 houses. So you should adhere to that standard also. So that was also suggested by the DST. And then there was an international standard known as the ECMA standard, the Electronic Commerce Code Management Association standard, which is open geospatial consortium standard. And what it actually, that standard did was, when we applied this algorithm with that standard, so it actually does a compression of the lat-lon, and after compression, it using the base 14 and base 32, it gives us a 14-digit number in which the last 2 digits indicate whether it is a agricultural land, whether it's a ground floor, first floor, like that. It normally have H0 like that. So 0 indicates it's a agricultural land or a ground floor, or if it goes to 1 like that. And when you apply it to the buildings, so suppose if you have a mezzanine floor, when you have a penthouse and you have a scooter parking or car parking like that, then the entry point to the door is taken as the reference point. And it's based on the general geometry of the boundary principle, and it is compatible in any open source application. So we have in NIC, we have a Boo Naksha, the cadastral mapping solution, so which takes the input as a shapefile, so that we have enabled this, so that when you give us a georeference shapefile, which is an input to the system, it generates this 14-digit alphanumeric number, unique number also. And it's, as I said, it's applicable to both horizontal and vertical properties, and the unique number can be generated for multiple units in a single property. So this has been covered. And now I say, what is the necessity in having this ULPIN? So the problem was that different states were having the different numbering system. Like we have some states were writing as, suppose a land parcel is having 25, then it has 25 by 1, 25 by 2 in a number. And some were using, it is since the land is a state subject, then it is stored in the official language of the state. So suppose some states write it as 25 by car, 25 by ga, so like that. And the land parcels may repeat in each village. Suppose you have a 25 by 1 in village 1, you can have a 25 by 1 in another village 2 also. So, and it was difficult to do data analytics and establish farmers land relationship, and standardization of data and application, how the data will be exchanged within departments, whether to go for a G2G services or G2C services, and also linkage with banks. All this was also thought about with courts and crop insurance and things like that. And this next slide I'll explain to you how I just I just explained before that we say as a CASA number, or we can call it as a parcel ID. This is what I was just explaining it before. Here we how you take the interior point, which point, this is the interior point, which points to the surface of the land parcel. We take the horizontal segment and the largest horizontal segment, the midpoint of that, and you get a point of the land parcel for both latitude and the longitude, which is shown as the interior point, and using this projection system. And this was initially done, and after being vetted by applying the ECMA standard. So this is what we got when you apply. Then in the ECMA standard, they don't call it as ULPIN. They call it as the PNIU. That is a property natural identifier unit. And also they have another term known as a property natural identifier location. So that what happens is precisely this will, since it is very precise and georeferencing is done by various methodologies as suggested in the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program guidelines. So we get very precisely, we can get to that land parcel. This is using that padding with zeros to make the 3-digit decimal and round it up to make 6 digits after the decimal. This is what I was telling earlier. And they are encoding it using a compression technique, and 3 digits that precede the decimal point using base 14. So here they are replacing the I with Y, because I may get confused with 1. And similarly with O, they are replacing with Z. So that since O may be confused with 0, this is what they're doing for the latitude. And similarly, the process is done for the longitude. And after concatenating both, you get a number. I'll just show that. So this is how when we applied that standard, we got the number, step 1, step 2, step 3. So this is the PNIU, C7JFAQ 0HD. So this has 0. Here you can see that it has concatenated both latitude and longitude. And this has been tested with all the different types of land parcels, and everywhere it has so far succeeded. Here, for example, I've taken rectangular, but otherwise any irregular land parcel, and it's adhering to the standards, and we are able to store it. And we are able to even exchange it with other applications. For example, now in Government of India, they're using the AgriStack for doing a digital crop survey. They're taking this ULPIN as a reference point for exchanging the information. Only the challenge lies was to have the georeference cadastral map, which is now slowly under progress. So that's what happening. And then we have this benefits. There's a unique number. There's no duplicity. And the sharing of the land records, I said, across departments, agriculture, financial institutions, and stakeholders. And you can deliver the citizen services to through a single window. And you can enforce uniqueness and also link all the property transactions gets established. And present status is it has been generated for around 213,212 villages. This is available in the dlrp.gov.in, the portal for the MIS of the Department of Land Resources, and also nearly about 8.28 crore land parcels have been assigned ULPIN so far. And in the recent, the project has also got an impetus in the recent budget speech of the Honorable Finance Minister of assigning the land parcel to each, assigning the ULPIN to each land parcel in the country. So I think this concludes my presentation on the ULPIN. I am now open to any questions, and we are joined by all my co-authors also are also available with me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for this beneficial topic you chosen. Sir, what are the technical and logistic challenges in integrating this unique pin?
Ma'am, the one, yes, ma'am. One technical challenge which we found is, ma'am, is the availability of the georeferenced cadastral maps, ma'am. And not only the availability of georeferenced cadastral maps, the maps also should be updated and should reflect the ground reality. So that is the first challenge, ma'am. And second is, other one is the security aspect also was also looked into. And since they are very precise and into the land, in identifying the land parcel in the map, so that they can be kept behind a login or a behind password, or sometimes when you want to exchange it also to government departments, then it can be handed over virtual private network or peer-to-peer network. And there was also another thought that how to go about the legal sanctity to this ULPIN. So Andhra Pradesh, when they started the resurvey project, they had given a gazette notification of giving ULPIN to all the resurveyed lands taking place. So that is other thing, ma'am. And fourthly is other one is this linkage and how to whether where to encrypt and then further store it. And so that is also aspect. Main challenge lies in the updation and the georeference availability of georeference cadastral maps, ma'am. And for agriculture land, so far we have tested, it is working fine. And our future roadmap would be how to take it up into the urban properties, as the previous speaker was telling about the LiDAR survey, which is having a point cloud for the urban properties and urban areas. So that is how, I mean, the standard says it can be doable. And once you get the source itself at a three-dimensional survey taken place on the urban cities, so there we can again test this algorithm and further fine-tune it. Yeah, thank you.
Sir, how it will work on reducing land dispute and legal conflicts?
Ma'am. It's a good question, ma'am, on how it will reduce the conflict of land disputes, which occupy most of the time of our honorable judges. Is there actual when you demarcate this land parcel, ma'am? So since you have the exact latitude and longitude, and the survey done very precisely using survey grade technology equipments, that will precisely identify the boundary also. And suppose a plot gets subdivided, man. Suppose 25 is there and it's become 25 by 1 and 25 by 2. So when they do the 25 by 1 and when they subdivide the parcel using the latest technology, so that 25 by 1 and 25 by 2 both will get a child ULPIN, which is linked to the parent ULPIN, so we don't delete the ULPIN anywhere, but we just store it, so that the boundary demarcation and it is perceived that the boundary disputes will be reduced, ma'am. See, since each land parcel is getting a unique number.
Sir, can we use this ULPIN for the all transactions which are connected or which are related with the land?
Yes, ma'am. This is actually perceived as having with like a BUADAR, like a person parcel pixel linkage. So yes, it can be used for all the departments where the land is the thing, ma'am. So that it acts as it acts as a single source of truth. So that whether it is within G2G, now already, as I said, submitted, ma'am, agriculture department, they're using for the agri stack, and in other states they are exchanging with other electricity department also, something like that. So that it is possible. Only thing is that since the ownership of the data lies with the respective revenue departments, what exactly data needs to be shared with their other departments, that has to be mentioned there, and along with the ULPIN, whether the area, the land parcel, the owner details, I mean, what all exactly they want, that can be, if it is fed, then through APIs, it can be exchanged now.
Yes, sir. Sir, as I am a resident of Maharashtra,
Yeah,
we are having one system, automated system for this land, that is known as Tatbara. So So it
Yes,
would
ma'am.
be more beneficial if we are having some uniform system throughout our India.
Correct,
That
ma'am.
yeah.
Actually, ma'am, some states, as you rightly said, ma'am, Satbara or the DAC Chita or RTC. So actually, since it is a technical and it also has a lot of processes and legal issues into the picture, ma'am. So the states have to may have to amend their Revenue Act and then include this as also an additional column in their Satbara, and how much to whether to mask it and then give it to the landowners or give it in their passbook, pata passbook. So that can also be envisaged, ma'am. Yeah.
That's very good topic, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
sir.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you for the presentation, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
And before concluding this session, I would just like to give a last call for Vitor Els or any of the co-authors if they are present in the session. Okay. So let's just conclude the session, and I sincerely thank all the authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough for you all. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during this 9th version and all the previous 8 versions of the conference. And we will be happy to have you in the 10th version in 2025. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months, so kindly cooperate with the team of ICT4SD 2024. I would also like to thank our session chair for chairing this session. And here is a small token of appreciation on behalf of the team of ICT4SD, Global Knowledge Research Foundation, and partners. Thank you for your valuable presence, ma'am. Would
Thank
you
you.
like to give closing remarks to all the participants?
Yes, ma'am. We are at the forefront of an exciting era in the AI. And here we get very new research and innovative ideas which are constantly shaping the future. And this conference gives an opportunity to all the researchers to come together and share their work and collaborate towards the goals. As well as I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to especially to the organizing committee for their tireless efforts in putting together this remarkable event. And this commitment ensures that we will have a common platform to foster connection as well as to share the knowledge that will be most important for our collective progress. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And thanks all the participants for their valuable presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your words, ma'am. There's one question in the chat box from Martin. Martin, actually, your presentation is scheduled for the next session, which is 9B. So you'll have to join the meeting again. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And in the end, I'll just request you all to please turn on your cameras for a quick snapshot of this virtual conference. Just one more. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot. It was a great session. Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.